Welcome to the new and improved news in a new place.
Yep, coming at you from our new studio.
My new studio. It's like my new living room.
I apologise to our viewers today. I am both completely soaking wet and completely hungover.
Yeah, but it's okay because we made, for the first time ever, we made notes.
Yeah, we made notes.
So we can refer to our notes.
Indeed.
This is the show of an improving digital pioneers
There you go.
of news.
So I don't know where you were going there.
Yeah.
So when the pause came, I was like, what do I do?
I don't really know what the biggest news is this week. What would you say the biggest? I guess Sunset Overdrive is...
big AAA release.
It is.
Yeah.
That's the one of all the AAA releases that I kind of... I don't have an Xbox One, but one day I might, and this is probably a game I will buy for it in that time.
People like it.
Yeah.
And that's good.
It is good.
It's good because I saw the trailer and I was like, that's obnoxious and annoying. That game's probably terrible. And then it turns out the game's actually quite good.
Yeah.
It looks a bit like a kind of... I think it's free roaming.
Yeah.
It looks a bit kind of like Prototype to me.
Well, it's Insomniac trying to get back to their 90s selves, apparently.
Oh, really?
It's still quite shooty,
Okay.
from what I can tell.
So it is Insomniac, which is good. They're
Yes.
a fairly good company, we find.
Yeah, generally, you know.
In the 90s, they were one of the best at platforming.
Yeah. I mean, they were at least third.
Yeah. Weren't as good as Naughty Dog.
Yeah. Nor Nintendo's. I don't know. That's another discussion for another time.
That is.
But they
that's
definitely
coffee and
weren't
video
as
games.
good as Rare.
That's true.
But you know, they were up there.
No one was as good as Rare, but
No.
the better you are, the more you fall. So now Rare is this hollowed out shell.
Yeah. Whereas Insomniac, it's sort of okay again.
Yeah.
I guess they sort of stayed there. So anyway, that's pretty good. People tend to like it. Apparently some of the pop culture references are a bit hit and miss, but who really cares
Yeah.
that much? It looks like it's more of a gameplay game
Yeah, exactly.
than anything else, with just a fun attitude, which, you know, you always see a lot of in the AAA anymore. I mean, everyone loves Saints Row for kind of the same
Thing,
thing.
yeah.
They're not exactly.
Basically being GTA, but more fun.
Yeah. Well, it did what, giving you the cheats as the normal game. I mean, that's a good idea.
Right then. That's Sunset Overdrive.
Yeah. You've put that Sony have made some profit, although overall they have not.
Yeah. So Sony have not. They've reported a loss across the year, but the PS4 has meant they've made sales in the gaming section.
Yeah.
As Jason pointed out, that's fairly normal. I think it's pretty much normal.
Sony have been struggling on everything except the gaming front for a while.
Exactly.
And the Vita doesn't really even help their gaming front.
The Vita,
PS4 is propping up the Vita sales.
Well, that's it. The Vita sales have been a massive low for them. Apparently, the PS4 has sold a lot for Sony. The Vita sales not so much. But I think a loss for Sony is basically still being really in profit technically because they're a massive company.
I mean, they're not. That's the thing about Sony is they rely on the game stuff a lot more than I guess Microsoft do on their side, who probably don't really know, but I guess Microsoft tends to make a profit regardless of Xbox.
Yeah,
I would say
probably. But I'm sure
not
Xbox
100%.
helped.
Yeah. But on sort of related news, like that, we didn't write it down, so the notes have failed. But Nintendo also, I'm not sure what exactly they are on the profit terms, but the Wii U and 3DS sales are up. On last year, although they're still not great. Apparently, they're sluggish. Sales is the word that's been thrown around a lot, but they've improved, and they're only going to improve more with Smash Bros coming out.
I may be wrong, but I think they're actually expecting to report an actual profit this year, Nintendo. I may be wrong. I think I read that somewhere. However, generally speaking, they've made a loss for the last 4 years, I think. But they're so incredibly rich that they could make a loss for the next 50 years and keep going, apparently. So there you go.
So good on them.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's Nintendo. Don't really know what Microsoft are doing. Probably okay. You know, they'll survive. They're Microsoft.
Precisely.
Ground Zero's got a price drop.
A permanent price drop.
Permanent price drop.
$19.99 in UK pounds.
Which is what I paid for it second hand.
There you
go. I don't know what that means for me, but I wanted it earlier. But it's quite good. It's still quite expensive for the amount of game you get. I mean, I don't think it's news that it's kind of a really expensive demo and it's quite obviously a cut-off piece of the game that Konami kind of
Yeah.
made
I think-
them do.
I think 20 quid is even quite a lot for what is basically a demo, but still.
It's a very good demo.
Yeah, it's very fun, so.
Yeah.
And now you don't have to pay 40 quid for it, so
Yeah,
there you
I
go.
might play it again to celebrate. try and do a no-kill, and apparently that's really hard.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, I killed a fair few people when I played it, so you know, it's quite a tricky new direction. The new Metal Gear, just because it's a lot harder to sort of second guess the guards.
Oh, they got better AI?
Yeah. They're
Okay.
meant to be more natural.
I guess that's kind of what you want.
Yeah. I mean, if we're going to talk about the new system briefly, I mean, we might as well, because we're on topic. It's all about like marking. You can use your binoculars or whatever to look around, and then if you pick up guards, then you mark them, and you can kind of track their movements.
No, that's quite cool.
Like they have a little thing above their head, unless they go out of bounds or whatever, unless they go too far away. But generally, you have to spot the guards first, and then you can track their movements. But you still might not have spotted all the guards. So
That's pretty cool.
It's a lot of fun.
There's always something new from a Metal Gear Solid game.
Yeah,
So
they're
there you
always
go.
trying.
Yeah. They got climbing. That's in the full version, I think.
Oh yeah, and horse riding.
And horse riding, yeah.
Might even be better than Red Dead Redemption for horse riding.
They're a big Red Dead fan, so
It was pretty
it's
good.
a pretty good game, but I just never played it.
Facebook say another big. I mean, they're not a gaming company, I suppose, but they are now because
It's about
of
the Oculus.
Rift. They want 100 million Oculus Rift sales eventually over several iterations of the Oculus Rift,
Right.
which I still think is pretty
I'm not buying it.
optimistic. How many? I don't really know off the top of my head. Probably should have looked it up before we start. How many PlayStation 3 sales, for instance, has there been?
Not
Let's
100
say-
million.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that.
I know that
Xbox 360 and Wii
Yeah.
the same.
I know that Facebook want Oculus Rift isn't they kind of bought it because they want it to be more than a gaming thing. I
Yeah.
suppose you imagine. I'm pretty sure they said they want it to be a big multimedia thing
Yeah,
in
yeah.
general. But I think 100 million. I just got. I
Facebook's-
still look at those things and think Oculus is specialist tech for people who.
You really want to play Oculus.
Yeah, I just really can't imagine like, a casual market. Even if you apply it specifically to games, before you even think about the bigger picture, if you just think about games, like I just can't imagine people coming home and like, oh, I want to chill out for a couple of hours playing a game. Let me put this thing on my head.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I know that lots of people say it makes you a bit queasy to use it anyway.
Yeah.
So
Well, I'm sure they're working on that.
Yeah.
In general, even if it didn't, I just think it's a bit weird because I just can't imagine that be the default thing people want to do.
I think they're removing a lot of the social aspects
Yeah.
of gaming.
I think
in a certain
people
way.
do like to when I like to sit down and play games, and although I like to get immersed in one player, I still kind of like other people to be around to do it to, or just
I also think that they've just gone. Is this saying they want 100 million sales? They're basically just being like, well, we're a big company in gaming, so we're going to overstate how much we want to sell,
yeah.
and then come in under it and be annoyed, basically, because
That's
that's
the
happened a lot.
tradition,
You
yeah.
know, that's happened for about the last 8 years of gaming, as far as I can tell. So
So even when you think about it for not gaming, though, like I guess if you think about the TV or Netflix or whatever,
Yeah.
Facebook,
yeah,
like,
exactly.
who's gonna do that? Like, I just can't. You don't want to come home and watch a film with a headset on, do you?
Exactly.
You want to come home and watch a film with someone else, or I don't know.
I
Maybe
was-
I'm wrong, and maybe I'm being
I
short-sighted.
could think of it like
but-
I lie in bed watching TV when I'm really hungover.
Yeah.
But that would just make me feel more ill. So that's the only thing I can think
I
of,
think-
but I've already counted it out, basically.
There is a potential that I'm just being kind of like not being able to see the bigger picture. Maybe it will be convenient, and maybe everyone will love it, but I just can't see it.
I think we're old people. That's
Yeah.
what's going on.
That is. Well, I'm down with that because I know I'm right.
Yeah, well, that's what old people say.
Yes, and
They're right usually.
Right.
And
So let's go from the top here. Nordic Games. Not sure who they are.
no,
The different
I'm
name is
guessing a Scandinavian game
I
company.
believe they bought an IP before that I can't remember which IP it was. But anyway, they bought the IP rights to a game called The Blob, which is not a very well-known game. It came out on the Wii. It came out. I had it on the Wii. I don't anymore. Don't know why. Sold a lot of good Wii games. I sold a lot of good games in my life, and it's terrible. Anyway, one of the games that came out in the early days of the Wii, when everyone wanted a piece of that pie until they realised that third party just wasn't happening, or even software sales were just low in general in the early days of the Wii.
Yeah.
And I can't even remember who published it originally, but The Blob, it was actually a really good game. You play as this blobby thing that rolls around, and you had to kind of paint up the city by rolling into colours or changing the colours of stuff. It's kind of a hard game to explain. It's quite a simple concept. Basically, you had to paint all of the landscape in bright, lovely colours.
Is it anything like Splatoon?
I guess vaguely in concept, except it's not a multiplayer. I'll just let you finish up there.
Apologies.
It's not a multiplayer like shooter, like domination type affair, which
Right,
essentially is what Splatoon
Splatoon
is.
yeah.
But it's more of it was a single player kind of platformy type thing.
Right.
You had a level and you had to beat that level.
It looks like it sounds like fun. I've literally never heard of it.
Yeah.
But
It was one of those ones. It was like LEDs. That was a great game on the Wii that I got rid of as well. It was
LED?
stupid. Yeah, LEDs.
LED.
It was meant to be like LEDs, like lights. Yeah, I wouldn't bother going into it now, but that was, if anyone's got a Wii who never bought LEDs, you should. It's a great game.
You should,
Use motion control well, it was outstanding.
It's amazing.
Yeah. So yeah, maybe they make a new The Blob, and maybe I'll be happy about that, because the first one was good. The Eternal Darkness dev. Eternal Darkness, for those who don't know, was a survival horror game on the GameCube.
Yeah, very enjoyable.
Yeah.
Very
I never played it, but apparently it was great.
Some people hated it, but yeah.
And a dev from that has revived himself and made a new studio, and he's going to be making, what was it called? Shadow of the Eternals, which apparently is a thing that existed before but never came out,
Right.
that he was working on.
I think I've heard the whispers of this one.
Yeah. And well, the thing, I guess it's something in the same vein, but the thing that made it interesting to me was, one, it's an old dev who made a classic game that apparently is very underappreciated and undersold, etc.
Yeah, I remember that.
Which is nice.
That's the thing I remember about
The
it,
other-
that was.
The other thing that's interesting is he wants it to be a film and TV show as well, which is something that gaming has sort of probed with but hasn't really done well yet. Microsoft tried anyway,
Yeah.
but kind of gave up very early on.
I guess the Walking Dead adventure games are nearly there, but not really.
Well, the tie-in things have certainly gotten a lot better.
I mean, those are very good. Those adventure games are very good. So.
I guess because Telltale got the idea that people like narrative a lot these days.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not 100%
I
always convinced by full-on narrative games, but Telltale ones are by all accounts quite good.
Yeah, I think Telltale know how to do that, basically.
But the thing they realise is that you don't have to tie it into the plot of the thing. You just make your own thing based on the same world.
Yeah, exactly. That's what everyone needs to
It's
do.
how people expanded the Star Wars universe for long times.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised no one picked up on it sooner.
I genuinely, because I own quite a lot of Harry Potter games that I've picked up for like $1.99 and they've been dreadful. And I just kind of think, part of the problem is you're just trying to make a game to go with the film.
Yeah.
And you could just actually just make a game in the universe.
Yeah.
And
it's a good way for people who like to do this sort of thing to expand the brand.
And speaking of Telltale, there's not been much about the Game of Thrones game, but they are making that. They've actually got 5 player characters.
Yes, which is a thing.
And they're all from the same family.
And I've never watched Game of Thrones.
You never watched Game of Thrones?
But I do know that you say to death not today or something. That's what I know.
Yeah, that is one of the characters' sayings.
Not today.
But
I like that.
People who do watch Game of Thrones will know families are very important because it's all about kind of medieval politics in a fantasy world. And you play as, I think you play as one of the minor houses characters. So that's quite cool. And,
outstanding.
And it's made by Telltale, so you can. I feel like it will be fairly close to the actual show in a way, because the show doesn't actually have that much killing or fighting comparatively, even though everyone dies all the time. It doesn't have much actual fighting and stuff. It has a lot of political intrigue. So maybe that'll be cool.
Yes.
And I think that'll be great.
It probably will. I still have The Walking Dead to play.
So do I.
So
both episodes.
So it's on my STEM account. Talking of STEM and the PC world, there's a great game coming out that's been out for like 500 million years, but
On
anyone who
everything
didn't
else.
have a only on the PS3
Yeah,
actually,
I'm joking.
but that's coming out, and it's Sega who's doing it. And I always like when Sega actually get off their ass and do something.
Yeah.
Bringing Valkyrie Chronicles to PC. This is a game that came out, I think, in like the first year of the PS3.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly.
Massively undersold, I think.
Yeah, I think it was a moderate success in Japan because there were 2 sequels made.
Yeah, which didn't get released here, I believe.
The second one did.
Oh,
Both
did it?
on the
Okay.
PSP. The second one did. The third one didn't.
Yeah.
So this is exciting because Sega has become Sega has become quite a decent PC publisher. They've got to be one of the biggest now.
Yeah.
Which is something that you
It's quite
don't
surprising.
really think. But then
Yeah.
they own the Total War franchise. They
Yeah.
own the Warhammer franchise. They own the Company of Heroes franchise.
Yeah.
They own Football Manager.
To be fair, a lot of these are things they bought.
Yeah,
But-
well, Creative Assembly have
Yeah.
been and Sports Interactive have been part of Sega for a long time.
Yeah, that's true too.
And I think, actually, I don't know. I was going to say I think the IPs belong to Sega, but I'm not actually sure about that.
Yeah, I don't know
Probably
either.
not. Total War. Who knows? But yeah, they've had a good working relationship with these
So
guys
it was
for
a long running IP, you know.
Yeah.
So it's hard to know who owns it.
yeah. But
I'm guessing not whoever invented it.
I think
Basically.
a lot of these PC, and this is sort of a side thing, but a lot of the things those PC devs I think have said is good about Sega is they're kind of hands off and they kind of just let them get on with it.
Yeah.
Which is
So these PC devs probably were doing a fairly good job already, and so
Yeah.
they went, okay.
we'll just give you some, I don't know, funding. Or
Yeah,
some,
exactly.
Yeah.
Make this many sales and we'll fund your next game. You know.
So basically, what I hope happens is Valkyrie Chronicles is a sort of moderate success, and
Yeah.
they will bring over number 3 on PC eventually and translate it, and maybe. And Sega know their own IPs will sell in the West on PC. Maybe we'll finally get Fantasy Star Online 2, which seems like it would be a very minimalistic effort on their part
Yeah.
to actually do.
Yeah.
It might suck because it's a free-to-play MMO, but I really like the first one. So I've
I've got a lot. They quite like free to play, aren't they? But
I don't even know if it's good or not. I just really like the Dreamcast one, and I know I could play the second one by just screwing around a bit. But,
Yeah.
but just give us a UK server or a European server.
Yeah, and then we'll be
Let me-
happy.
Let me try it out.
Yeah. So yeah, Valkyrie Chronicles. It looks, it's a pretty good game. I've played it a bit, and I think it was massively underappreciated of both of them when they came out.
Yeah.
For example, I didn't know the second one came out here, so
Yeah. Well, Valkyrie Chronicles, it was like it came out about the same time. Well, about the same time as Yakuza 3. But
Yeah.
anyway, like it was part of this period of these two big franchises that Sega had internally that were great and selling not that well, which really sucked. Yeah. But I think a lot of that is maybe down to the publishing side of it.
maybe. Yeah.
But yeah, it was really sad because these were two kind of great classic Sega games, really in the Sega mold of things. So it's sad. And Yakuza, and there's not really a big news. I won't mention it too much because it's not coming west. I haven't said it's not, but it's not. Yakuza
probably-
0 got like a big 15-minute trailer this week.
Yep.
But it looks great. Probably
In
never get
Japanese.
to play it. Yeah, it looks good though. And
One day we might play it, but we don't know.
I still haven't got 5 yet.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. There's a game called Swindle that has been re-announced,
Well, what
sort
is
of
Swindle?
revived. It's an indie game.
Nice.
It was announced. It was originally, they said it was a cross between. I can't even remember now. I think they said it was a cross between Sonic the Hedgehog and something else. Basically, it's a hacking game, and now they say instead of it being like Sonic the Hedgehog or something else, it's like Deus Ex and something else.
Okay.
But it's a 2D game where you go in. It's like a little platformer
Flashback,
thing.
isn't it?
Yeah, you go in to a place and you try and nick all their shit, and then you try and get out of that place. That's why
Okay.
it's called Swindle, because you're doing a swindle.
Yeah, you're
Um,
nicking stuff.
It
Basically.
looks quite fun. It looks fun.
Sounds a bit like Monaco, but Monaco's a robbing
Yeah.
game, not a hacking game.
It's a bit like Monaco, but I guess with a single player focus, and it's more side scroller rather than a top down
Yeah.
thing. It's got more of a classic stealth thing where you just try. I mean, you can take out guards and try not to be spotted and all the rest of it.
Sounds quite good.
It looks
Sounds
very
fairly fun.
So I'm glad. I didn't know it had. I guess there was some speculation over its future, but it's been revived apparently, and this is the first time I've heard of it. But it looks good. So
Excellent.
so that's a good thing already. Inafune or Mighty Number 9, he's the guy's making Mighty Number 9, the sort of very Mega Man-like game
that's not Mega Man.
That's been crowdfunded already, isn't out yet, or isn't out for a while. He's seeking crowdfunding to make DLC for that game, which to me is a little bit weird considering the actual game isn't out yet. But I guess it gives you an idea into the minds of how DLC is planned these days.
Yeah. So I saw a thing on online yesterday. People said you should call downloadable content purchasable content, and it's because that's what it is in practice, and I agree with that. But it's a bit strange that a game we don't even know how it plays. We can be pretty sure it plays like Mega Man, to be fair. Has got this DLC announced, and you're a bit like, I'm not going to fund it until I play the other one, But then I didn't fund Mighty Number 9.
But there was a lot of people who did, so I'm pretty sure that the DLC will get funded just based on blind faith at this point, which I suppose is the other side of crowdfunding, the blind faith side of it. Yeah. The less good side of it.
The thing is, we love Mega Man games, pretty much, but we just didn't crowdfund that. We didn't put any money to that at all.
Well, there wasn't really any need to.
No, exactly. We didn't need to do it. I don't really do it anyway, I think.
No, I don't crowdfund a lot. I only crowdfunded one thing because it seemed like it needed it, I suppose. Which might be a bad attitude, but I think there's just more people who are more hardcorely into stuff.
Yeah.
And I kind of like to wait for a finished product.
Yeah, exactly.
So
that's definitely my attitude.
Yeah.
I don't play early access or anything, so...
But I've made one exception where I saw that a game that I played and had a lot of potential probably wasn't going to get and didn't incidentally get crowdfunded. So that's nice.
That's annoying.
Yes. Not too much left on the list here.
No.
Nintendo are making a thing. It isn't even really gaming news despite it being Nintendo, but they're making a sleep sensor that you put next to your bed, and they showed some of this proof of concept this week, sort of thing. And
it tells you how well you sleep and how much disturbances happen, doesn't it?
That kind of thing. And basically the idea is it will help you sleep better, and it will tell you what you can do, in theory, to sleep better. Sounds great.
Sounds great.
Honest, but it depends on how well it works and how expensive it is. But I can't really see why that's a bad thing at all. It's not really a gaming thing. It's not like a Wii U device.
It's funny because Nintendo are the focused game company of the three majors.
I can only imagine this has developed out of things that they were making because they've talked about making things that sense stuff on you before on different capacities for the Wii and the Wii U. Can't remember specifically any details. I just remember they have talked about it.
Yeah.
So I would imagine
I might buy one when I get a Wii U.
Maybe that's where this came from.
Yeah.
Maybe it developed from some tech that they were building for something else. Changed direction. But I mean that sounds fine. I mean sleep has got to be. Being well rested is a good thing.
I'm going to go and sleep as soon as we finish doing this video. It's going to be amazing. And I suppose the last thing is that Bethesda have said a game is broken and unfinished, and in shocking news, they've decided not to release it.
Not up to their standard of quality or something.
Yeah, they said it wasn't up to their quality standard.
So that's Prey 2 for anyone.
Prey 2, yeah.
Never played Prey 1.
No. Not actually sure what kind of game it is. It's more a kind of Bethesda thing, I guess, because I'm quite into Fallout, but New Vegas basically came out not working. Yeah, and they do that quite a lot, really.
Yeah, I think considering that Bethesda are probably more famous than they'd like to be for releasing unfinished games.
Yeah,
considering that this game has been cancelled because of whatever. Well, it probably says quite a lot about the state of what that game was in.
I'm guessing it's really dreadful.
So probably for the best.
If it didn't reach QA standards, then it's probably completely horrible. So
Yeah.
But I mean, in the meantime, they've fixed Fallout New Vegas, so you should buy that.
Yeah, I suppose if you like that sort of thing.
If you like that sort of thing, Jason doesn't.
A bit boring. It's fine. You can like it. I'll allow it.
Thanks.
They published the new Wolfenstein game, so they've got that going.
Got that going for them too.
Yeah.
The best bit of that though is where you can play the old Wolfenstein game. To be fair,
I don't know if that's true.
I'm not joking.
And I think that might have been the other old Wolfenstein game, unless they've done it again. I'm not sure.
No, most recent Wolfenstein. I'm pretty sure.
Really?
You can.
Maybe they just chuck it in all of them now.
Probably. You might as well.
Yeah,
It's tiny now,
it is.
and you can watch Joe complete it on Retro Restart.
You can. He's doing pretty good to be fair. I mean, considering that he filmed it about a year ago,
Sorry.
probably more.
Yeah,
That's a little bit.
that
of a
was
trade
archived
secret.
Retro Restart.
Yeah.
That was.
Yeah. So I
And,
know how
yeah.
it is.
I guess that's the news for this
That
week.
is the news.
We'll see you next week.
For some more, just a bit of a disclaimer. I haven't even told you yet. The news next week for anyone who religiously watches this. Won't know if that's
So
anyone.
what's two?
Yeah. It'll probably be a day or so late
Okay.
going up because
Okay.
I don't have any internet at the moment.
Yeah.
So this one will be okay, but the next one will be late, and then back to normal. But that's life. That's some real life news for you. That sometimes you don't have internet, and actually everything's still okay.
Yeah.
It's kind of annoying if you're trying to keep 2 YouTube channels maintained.
Pretty much. Fortunately, one of them has 2 people on it.
Yes. which
One of them
helps.
hasn't recently moved.
Yeah. Anyway,
Alright.
enjoy our news, and
See you next week.
See you next week for
We won't
more of
actually
this.
see you. That's just a lie they say in telly.
Yeah,
You'll see us.
we could see you.
Yeah, but it'd be
Oculus Rift
stalkerish and
Reversed.
weird.
through the Kinect.
Big brother
We
Oculus Rift that can see your
If
eyes.
we're watching it through Kinect, then we can see you, and
Yeah.
we're watching.
However, we don't have an Xbox One,
No,
so
I don't know how we're doing it. I
You
wish
know.
it would stop.
we're just talented people like that.
All right, no more news. Go
Yeah.
home, Hugh.
Stop.